Hi everybody, it's Bonkai922. Don't mind the Superman shirt. I went to see Batman today. Oh, by the way, if you get a chance, check out that other video I did. That might happen soon. That might happen again. I might do something like that again. If I'm going to show people something I find out about a show and stuff. But anyway, moving right along. Sword Art Online. Yeah. After this, I'm probably going to do my One Piece episode review. Okay, moving right along. Episode 4. This show has a... Okay, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I am not going to sugarcoat it. This show has holes. There's no question. And I got a few comments here and there for Sword Art Online episode reviews, comments saying, feel your pain, people say, how there's holes there. There's holes. But here's the thing I need to mention. When these characters teleport, get close for this. When these characters teleport from place to place, they can teleport from let's say a floor from let's say floor 30 to floor 40. So they can jump floors by teleporting. That's another thing to think about when you're saying the plot holes in this. Now, this episode basically starts off, and the name of this one was called The Black Swordsman. Obviously, we're talking about Kirito. We get introduced to a few new characters. By the way, the character we get introduced in this episode, okay, she's going to join up Kirito later on. Not really. Now she's just here because she wants to, with him. But moving right along, we see this girl. Her name is Silica. Hopefully I'm saying it right. If I am saying it wrong, I apologize. Silica. And basically Silica is known as a beast tamer. And what happens is she gets into a fight with her party. And one of her party members is Rosalina. Now, later on, we find something interesting about Rosalina. She's a bitch! Rosalina is a bitch! I'll just come out and say it right there. And basically, that's what we find out about her. And basically, in this tussle between Silica and Rosalina, Rosalina steals an item from her and saying, I could have given you, I should have given you the crystals. And she comes out right and says it, Silica, I'm not going to be partying with you guys anymore because you're terrible and everything. So she moves on. Next time we see her, she's in the forest and she's battling these, I guess you can call them apes or gorillas. And, well, Silica has a dragon. Yeah. Can't get enough dragons, could we, this week? We got a dragon at the end of the fairy tale chapter. Now we got a dragon in Sword Art Online. But this is a smaller dragon, a blue dragon that she has called Pina. And what happens is she starts fighting these ape gorillas guy things. And she's starting to fight them and everything. And Pina is there to actually... She helps her heal, which I thought was pretty fucking crazy. So it's sort of like Wendy. Sorry, I'm laughing. But anyway, basically what happens is she can't fight these apes alone because there's a bunch of them. There's like 3 or 4 of them. And what ends on happening is she gets attacked ferociously. And at one point when she's fighting these apes and she's trying to defeat them, Pina, Dragon Pina, gets hit and she starts to fade away and all that's left of her is a feather. They're really sad. It was really sad, Later on, we find out something about Silica that raises some eyebrows. Anyway, they see her pet dragon gets killed, and there's all that's left is a feather. And the apes are coming right at her, and it's gonna, and then boom, they disappear. And there's Kirito. Yeah, there's Kirito. He's like black and shit. He's like, yeah. All badass and everything. And he's saying to her, "Oh, I'm sorry that I couldn't come in here to save time to save your friend." She says, "No, it's my fault because I was stupid and everything." And then he begins to tell her. And by the way, I forgot to mention that the floor she's on is floor 35. And that floor 35. Well, by the way, before I continue with this review, 35, each floor has their own sections. So like floor 35, you'll have Lost Forest. That's where she was at, and she almost got killed in. But then you have another section, which is the town, which I think was called Mish. But anyway, Kirito then begins to tell her, you can revive her. You can revive your dragon, because he realized she was a beast tamer. But you have to hurry because it only mattered 3 days. And he begins to tell her that his home is on the 50th floor, and he's gonna accompany her. And then she says, "Why are you doing this all for me? Will you promise not to laugh? Because you look like my little sister." He says that. I'm like, what? Seriously? And the funny thing about it was, later on, might as well tell this. I won't say it again. Later on, he tells her a story about his sister. It's not his sister. It's his cousin. Oh, seems to be his little sister, who he treats as his little sister. Anyway, moving right along. That's the whole story. And then, they're fine and what have you. So they have to get to floor 47. And the name of the floor 447 is known as Floria. And I might as well give the logistics here of what Floria is. It's a floor covered in flowers. Because they're looking for a specific flower called the Primula. And this flower will resurrect her dragon. Pretty much. Okay, so moving right along, before they go into this restaurant to have cheesecake and shit, she gets a confrontation with Rosalina. And, a lot of confrontation here and there, back and forth. And saying, "Oh, what happened to Pina?" She says. And this girl, oh my god, Rosalina, if I was Kirito, I'd kill the bitch. No questions asked. I would have killed this woman. This stupid bitch. But anyway, and she's being very, condescending. She's being a very bitchy bitch. Take her back to the pound. Female bitch. Rosalina. And she's basically saying, "Oh, is she dead? Fuck you, stupid hoe, Rosalina. Go eat dog shit." That's what I figured what I was feeling with her. So anyway, moving right along, they go into the restaurant. They have a little scuffle. Then they go into the restaurant. And Kirito begins to explain to her, Silica, that there are certain groups, there are certain players that actually turn bad. And when we mean bad, we mean holy shit, they kill people. It's not just, I'm not joking. When I saw this episode, wow. So Rosalina supposedly is within that kind of group. What happens is, person's icon on top of their head, if it's green, it's fine. But if their icon is orange, that means they're wanted. That means they're a criminal. And if it's red, it means they murdered people. Some sick shit. Oh man, this is crazy. So, and he's explaining that to her and so on and so forth, and saying, and he's going to eventually accompany her. And there's a scene where, there's a lot of scenes in this episode where Silica is she's "Oh!" She's embarrassed in front of Kirito. And she's like, "Oh, where's our cheesecake?" Everything. And then there's another scene where they obviously meet up again, and he begins to further explain the logistics of floor 47 and the proper route that they would need to take in order to get to the area they need to be into. Before he goes to the room, she's in her underwear. I'm what? He's "Whoa!" It's holy shit, man. A little fan service there. So anyway, moving right along. What ends on happening is, they're going through he has this device, this item, that allows you to see the map of the whole thing. floor 47, and he's mapping out this map, and then he notices something. He opens the door and realizes somebody was listening in. And he explains to Silica further that some people have listening skills. Like, they can really hear really good. So, basically, this is going to take precedence later on. We'll find out. So, after that situation, they both go to bed, wake up in the next morning, and they're ready to go. They're going to go out, they're going to teleport. They teleport right to Floria, which is the 47th floor. It's beautiful. It's like, oh my god, it's like just covered in flowers. It's a really crazy place. And she's like, it's beautiful and everything, and so on and so forth. Then they begin to move, and there's oh my god, this episode was pretty crazy because there were scenes where Silica got captured by some kind of monster. First time it was this plant. This man-eating plant. It grabbed her. And she's getting flinged back and forth. And when she's getting flinged back and forth, her panties are showing. And he's like this. And then eventually what happens is she defeats the monster. She's able to slice it up, kill it. And she's like, did you see? And she says, I didn't see anything. Then as they're going along, he begins to tell her about his cousin. Well, interesting details with Kirito. You don't really hear too much. So far, we haven't heard too much about him in the real world, like what his specific, thing is with his cousin. And he basically was saying that his cousin, who he treated as a little sister, would get really strictly taught kendo by his grandfather. And, she won tournaments and stuff and all this other stuff. And she's like... And he felt that he was using her as a way to atone. And then she says, oh, no, I don't think... She doesn't hate you. She doesn't hate you. For anything like that. So, moving right along, they get to the flower. Primula, flower. And he tells her, oh, pick it up. Pick it. So she picks it. She has it. And he tells her... Also, during this episode, he gave her a crystal to say, anytime you're in danger, use this. So, yeah. So they pick the flower, and they're moving right along. And he tells her, don't use it yet until you wear out to the next town. So, they're walking across this bridge, almost like clockwork, Rosalina. Now, unfortunately, I don't remember the name. I think it was Iron something. The guild that she was a part of. He already knew what she was a part of. And basically they confront her and saying, oh, that the whole bit was that she was after this item that Silica was getting. So she just handed over. And Kirito's like, I don't think so, you stupid hoe. You bitch. You're gonna go down, And then she brings out her flunkies of her guild. And you can tell right off the bat, they all have the orange icon, which entails that they've committed crimes, that they're criminals. And he says, I think it's Silica, she says his name, Kirito, and says, I'll be fine. And one of the guys is like, Kirito? The Black Swordsman. That's the Black Swordsman. Oh, he's like level 74 or something like that. And he's like, and Rosalina's like, what are you talking about? Who cares? Go attack him. So they all attack him at once and just slashing at him. He's not doing anything. And you know what was the best scene of this episode? When the camera focused on his health bar and it was like going like this, and then it just regenerated. It went down, and then it went back up. That, to me, was like the best scene in this episode. I thought that was like, wow. It's like he's taking this, and then and he explains like all the things that they did to him, and what he's acquired over the time, and he brings out this crystal, Now this crystal is a transportation crystal. They'll transport them to jail. Because he explains that his one of the people he met on his way on his journey in the game, their leader was killed. I think the Silver something was killed, and he's basically saying, "Oh, now don't you understand how this feels?" And she says, "Like I don't care." And then out of the blue, he just goes really fast. Kirito, he's got his blade right at her fucking neck. I was like, fuck yeah. I mean, I should give this a 4 out of 5, but I'm going to conservative. 3.5. It was good. So, and he did that, and then they were just like, she just dropped her first sword. It was just like, forget about it. You're fucked. And then we get this scene, obviously, with Kirito and Silica, and she revives her pet. And it was very touching. She's like, "Oh, I'll always remember this day, Pina, when I brought you back to life and my first day with my big brother." I was like, "Oh." It's like an awe moment, you know? It's like Kirito's been through so much shit. So much shit. He lost that other group he was with. He bailed on the other when he first arrived. Finally finds somebody, this Silica girl, who, you know, he can just connect with. Now, like I said, this was a good episode. I was expecting some more action, but there was action. It's just, you know, I was like, you know. I think this is good for Kirito because it develops him. Because now he's found somebody who he can trust in Silica, and it seems like he's getting better. He's not depressed anymore, so it's a little bit more. The next week's episode, I actually forgot the name of it, but I know it's going to be something about crime. Crime Wall or something along those lines, I believe. So, yeah. But anyway, I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. Good episode. Don't get me wrong. It was a good episode. But, you know, a lot of people, some people really don't like the fact that there are some things from the light novel that are being illustrated in this show. But 3.5 out of 5. I want to see more, though. Next week, I want to see more. You know, I want to see, like, I want to see something develop really strongly for Kirito. Don't get me wrong, this was a good fucking episode. This was a great fucking episode. With the whole thing with him going against Rosalina and he kills people. That was actually interesting. I did not know that about this show. That's what some people do that. Some people actually kill other players. That is like, holy shit. That's like on a whole new level because you think about it, you can't get away with that shit in the real world, but you can in the game? That's like, what the fuck? You know, and you were just I'm just thinking about this. What if, could people actually get away with crimes? But they would go to jail, I would say. Because like Kirito said. But like raping people and stuff, you know? I'll move that on for another discussion, for another day. But anyway, it was a good episode. Tell me what you guys think, comments below. I guess One Piece after this, so yeah. I'll see you guys later. Stay with Sword Art Online. Stay with Sword Art Online. It's going to get good. Okay, people? Stay with it. Because I am too.